Hello, everyone. Welcome to your mindfulness practice for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. My name's Leanna. If you're new to my channel, I am so happy that you're here. And if you've been here for quite some time, thank you for your continued support and enjoyment of my content. Today, we are going to be working through more of a restorative practice. So this is going to be really nice and gentle and yin inspired. So by that, I mean that we'll be holding postures for a longer period of time to really dive deep into the fascia, the tissue, and to offer some release. This is going to be such a nice practice for you to do, to unwind from your day, to have a midday reset, to start your day. Really just slow, grounding, and restorative. I would love it if you had a block for your practice today. It will be supportive in just bringing the ground closer to you in some of our postures. It's not required, but it would be helpful. If you have a pillow that you can sit on, that can also be helpful. And for the last shape, for supported shoulder stand, you can always just take legs up the wall instead of that supported shoulder stand. So either making sure you're by a couch to bring your legs up or a wall, or having that block with you for our last posture. As always, please take your practice at your own pace. This is your time on your mats, so being really intentional with what your body needs today. And if a shape or posture is not serving you, please modify, adjust, and find rest at any point. I hope you enjoy today's sequence, and we'll begin. We are going to get started in a child's pose. So getting your mat set up. Once you arrive, you can bring your knees wide, toes come to touch. And allow your chest, forehead or chin meets the ground as your hands walk towards the front of your mat. And just begin to ground here in this grounding shape. Really allow those hips to fall heavy, the forehead to rest down on either the ground or a block. And begin to turn inwards. And check in, starting to notice how your body is feeling in this moment. Coming to notice any areas of tension, any areas of stickiness. And then coming to notice areas that are more open and expansive. And bringing this awareness with a gentle curiosity, no judgment. Becoming curious with why and how your body is feeling the way it's feeling. And as we move and breathe throughout our practice, we can begin to offer some relief, some space. Start to bring an awareness to your breath, not altering its natural state, just noticing how it's flowing here for you. Begin to notice where it's traveling. Maybe it's landing in the depths of your belly. Maybe it's more shallow. And with every breath in, notice the lateral movement of your ribs side to side. And then notice the slight contraction as you exhale on that breath out. And continuing to watch and feel that breath in the body. And we'll start to breathe collectively, letting go of any hold you have on your breath. On your next breath in, drawing in a long and deep breath through your nose, filling up. And then through the mouth, letting out a long and heavy sigh. Good. Another deep breath in. And a long exhale out. Another inhale through the nose. And a long and heavy sigh away. Let's do one more, just like that. Deep breath in. Relaxing on your exhale. Now allow that breath to find a pace and a rhythm that can support you throughout your practice. One that can guide your movement and anchor yourself present within your space. And allowing that pace, that rhythm to settle. And on your next breath, start to walk your hands to the top right corner of your mat, coming into a side body stretch. And that left hand may stack over the right. As you continue to sit those hips back towards your heels, really start to breathe along that left side body, feeling that reach from the left hip all the way through to the fingers. And take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Another deep breath in, long breath out. Really nice and slowly start to walk your hands back through center, and we'll take this to the opposite side. Now reaching that right hand over to the left, it may stack over that left hand. Melting that chest and belly towards the ground, the forehead may meet. Continuing to sit those hips back. And breathing along the right side body this time. And take a deep breath in. And a long breath out. Maybe those fingers trickle a little more to the left. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Really nice and slowly starting to walk back through center. We'll ground down here for a breath. Maybe those knees draw wider. Take a deep breath in. Long sigh away. And grounding down through your palms, start to slowly walk those hands towards your legs. And we'll come to a kneeling seat on our shins. And then option to take that block between the thighs to sit the sit bones down. Bring that ground closer to you for extra support. And just grounding here for a moment, softening your gaze or closing down the eyes. Really rooting down through your sit bones and lengthening the crown of the head to the sky. Lengthen your spine. And relax those shoulders down your back. We'll bring that right hand to our lap, palm facing towards the sky, the left hand over top. The thumbs can come to touch slightly. For our Dhyana mudra, our mudra for concentration. And as we ground here with this shape, and starting to check in with what you need from this next little bit of time on your mats. Why did you choose to show up here today? And if intention setting is a part of your practice, I invite you to welcome one in now. And then we'll take a deep breath in together. Long sigh away through the mouth. Good. Now when you're ready, gently fluttering your eyes open. I hope you'll have a wonderful practice today. We'll roll over our knees and come to a tabletop. Once you arrive in your tabletop, start to move through some cat-cows with your breath. On that inhale, your belly will drop, gaze and tailbone will lift to the sky. And on that exhale, you'll curl the spine, tuck the chin and navel as you push the ground away. Inhale, find your cow pose, gaze lifts, collarbones forward. Exhale, curl the spine, really spread those shoulder blades across your back for cat. Inhale to cow. Exhale, push the ground away for cat. And continue to move here with your breath at your own pace. And inviting any other shifts and movements along the way that your body's craving. Maybe it's a twist side to side, a nod of the head, left to right. Allowing this to feel really smooth and fluid. We'll take 2 more slow rounds. And next time your back rounds into cat, start to sit those hips back towards your heels for a child's pose for a brief moment. And right away on that breath in, arch the spine to cow, shining your heart forward, letting those hips drop forward for a modified up dog. Good, really nice and slowly you'll exhale, pushing those hips back, curling through the spine, finding your child's pose. And on that breath in, you'll arch the back as those hips draw forward for that modified up dog. Let's take 3 more of these waves at your own pace. Lingering in any spots along the way that want some extra attention. Moving with your breath, allowing it to draw you forward and draw you back. And taking your last round here. And making your way to tabletop. When you're ready, ground down through table. We're about midway down our mats. We'll start to walk those hands to the top edge of our mats, preparing for puppy pose. So those palms will ground down. We'll start to release those forearms to the ground as our chin or forehead meet the ground or a block. Really allow your heart to open here towards the ground. Those hips are high over our knees. You might walk your fingers forward a couple more inches as you land here in your depth. We'll find 3 long deep breaths. 1. 2. 3. Really slowly, really grounding down through those palms and those forearms. You'll slide your belly through to the ground, coming to a sphinx pose. Once you arrive in sphinx, those forearms are making a figure 11 shape with your body, and those elbows are stacked underneath your shoulders. So really slight engagement of those glutes, a slight engagement of the shoulder blades towards one another. And let's walk those feet mat distance apart. Shining your heart forward, welcoming in this gentle back bend, this gentle release. And rooting down through those forearms, those elbows, those palms. Take a deep breath in. And a long breath out. 2 more rounds of breath here. Last one. Good, 1 more deep breath in. And on that exhale, we'll bow towards the ground. Hands come by our side. And we'll relax the arms down in a cactus shape. So 90-degree bend in those arms. We'll bring that right cheek or ear to the mat. And then an option to keep that right arm bent as is, or it might come to a diagonal pointing to the top right corner of the room, or find a full T shape pointing to the right side of the room. And then we'll hug that left knee up, bending through the leg and coming to a half frog shape. And that left leg is still planted in the ground, taking that bend. And landing here on the side body, or on the belly rather, but side of the head. And starting to open up through that inner thigh on the left side. And finding 3 long, deep breaths. 3. 2. 1. An option to stay as you are. You might start to peel over to the right side of the body, really peeling onto that right shoulder. Using that left hand as a kickstand, you'll step that left foot in front of you or behind your body to come into a nice shoulder stretch along that right side. So this is quite intense, so really taking your time, finding your depth, and slowly rolling back onto that right shoulder. Using that left foot as a kickstand behind or in front of you. That left hand can stay planted in front, or you might bend through that elbow, bringing that hand towards your right hip crease for a half bind. Good. If you're taking that half bind, you're noticing that slight engagement of your shoulder blades together as you open up across the chest. And take a deep breath in. And a long breath out. Let's find 4 more long, deep breaths here. Last one. And really slowly releasing that half bind if you took it, planting that left hand out in front of you for balance, and then slowly rolling back towards your bellies. And come to a crocodile pose. We'll bring those hands out in front of us, stacking down and resting our forehead down. And give your hips a shake side to side. Bring those legs mat distance apart, or feet rather. And just let that side go. Good, and then we'll find that cactus shape again with our arms, this time bringing the left cheek or ear to the mat. And then we'll hug that right knee up, finding that half frog. And landing heavy here on our front bodies. That left arm can stay bent. You might bring it to a diagonal or straight to the left side of the room. And take a deep breath in. And a long breath out. Finding 2 more rounds of breath. Last round. Good, and then option to stay as you are, or you might start to roll back onto that left shoulder, taking that shoulder stretch a little deeper, using that right hand as a kickstand. That right foot steps in front or behind your body. You start to peel open along the left side of your chest. And breathing here, taking notice if this side is showing up a little differently, maybe a little bit more open, a little bit tighter. And breathing into that. Taking notice of where you can soften if you've gone too far in the shape. And then option to keep that right hand in front of you, or you may take that half bind, bending through the elbow. Hand reaches for the left hip crease. Gentle engagement of those shoulder blades towards one another. And we'll find 5 long, deep breaths. Last one. On your next breath in, that right hand plants out in front of you for support as you roll back to your bellies. And we'll find that crocodile pose. Stack those hands out in front of you. Rest your forehead down. Give your hips a shake. Let that go. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Hands plant under the shoulders. We'll push ourselves back to a child's pose. Knees draw wide, toes come to touch. And relax the forehead down. Maybe it meets the blocker or ground. And taking notice if this feels a little bit more open than the start of our practice. Second time finding this shape. And take a deep breath in. And a long breath out. Really slowly walk those hands into your legs, coming back to that kneeling seat. And grabbing hold of that block if you'd like to place it between your legs to sit the sit bones down. And then we'll bend through that right knee and planting that right sole of the foot down in front of us, keeping this bent knee, or you can start to lengthen that leg out towards the top of your mat. And an option is stay seated on that block or on that left heel, or you might shift the hips to the side and bring that left foot along the side of your bent leg. And this might be enough for you. You might stay here. You might bend through that right knee. If you'd like, you can start to lift the hips off the ground and rock side to side, just slowly opening up across the pelvis into that left hip joint. And take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Continuing here, moving at your own pace. Good, one more breath. And release the hips down if they're lifted. Whether that knee is bent or that right leg is straight, start to lift yourself off your hips and walk forward, coming to a low lunge. And so that left shin stays down, left knee stays down. We'll start to walk that right foot out to the long edge side of our mat. And again, start to rock side to side in the hips here. And bringing this into a lizard lunge. You might roll onto the right side of that foot, the knife edge side. And you might use that right hand to push that knee outwards. And just breathing here slowly, landing in this new shape. Always the option to bring that block underneath the hands to bring the ground closer to you. And then as you start to open up through the hips here, you're really sinking your hips heavy towards the ground. You may take this deeper, coming to your forearms, finding your depth and finding your shape. Breathing through it, using that breath to release any tension. Let's find 3 more deep breaths here. Three, 2, 1. Releasing any props away from you if you've used it for support. We'll walk that right foot in, frame our hands around our foot, taking that low lunge. We'll tuck the back toes, lift the back knee to step ourselves back to a downward facing dog. Pedaling out through the heels, welcoming in this new shape. Allowing the backs of the legs to open, the chest and belly to melt towards the ground. And take a deep breath in. Long breath out. Deep breath in. Long breath out. One more breath here. And on that exhale, find a tabletop to bring yourself back to that kneeling seat. Let's take a moment here to reground, to settle. And we'll take a deep breath in. And a long breath out. Really good. So taking this to the left side, you might grab hold of that block, place it under your sit bones. We'll bend through that left knee. And then staying here with that knee bent, or you may reach it long down your mat. And then option is stay seated on that right calf, that right foot, or you might lean to the left to release that foot to the side. So keeping that right knee bent, but that foot is long along the side of that leg now. And then option is stay here, or you might place those hands behind you and lift the hips off the ground. Start to rock side to side. Opening up through that right hip, into the hip flexor on the front of the right side. Opening up through the pelvis. Might be a little bit of a quad stretch as well, depending on how high you're lifting your hips off the ground. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Good. Finding 2 more slow rounds of breath. Last one. Releasing those hips down. And then again, we're starting to draw that weight forward as we creep and crawl ourselves forward to that low lunge. Once we arrive, walking that left foot out to the long edge side of your mat, hands planted on the inside, back knee and shin are down, untucking those toes. And welcoming in this lizard lunge on the left side. Gentle rock side to side, block underneath the hands for support. You might roll onto the knife edge side of that left foot. Maybe you take this a little deeper by using that left hand to push the knee outwards. Moving really nice and slowly at your own pace. Honoring if this side is a little bit more different. Breathing into that, becoming curious with it. Using that breath to hold your concentration. Maybe you come down to forearms, continuing to fall deep here. And continuing to breathe away the tension, breathe into that expansiveness. And we'll find 3 long, deep breaths. 3, 2, 1. And really slowly releasing the hands down if they're not already there. We'll walk those left toes in, frame our front foot, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, find a downward facing dog. One last time here. And really landing into this shape. We're not here for long. Knees meet the ground, finding that tabletop and coming back to that kneeling seat. And grounding here with a breath, deep breath in. Long breath out. Good. Those hands will plant behind you. This might be enough. Option to squeeze those glutes and lift those hips to the sky. That neck and head may drop back into the hammock of your shoulders. Really squeezing those glutes, feeling this stretch and opening across the pelvis, across those quads. Maybe even the front of the shoulders. Take a deep breath in. Long breath out. Deep breath in. Long breath out. One more inhale. Chin tucks to chest as we slowly release the hips back down, coming to that kneeling seat. And we'll take a deep breath in. And let that go on your exhale. Really nice. Roll to one side to bring your sit bones to the ground. And we'll step those feet hip distance apart. And those hands can plant behind you. Just start to gently walk those feet down your mat as you shimmy those hips down. We're getting to a depth where you'll start to notice a stretch along the front of the shoulders. So walking and creeping forward as much as you'd like. And those fingers can stay pointing forward, or you might rotate the wrists, whatever feels more supportive for you. And then as you lean into this shape, those hands staying planted behind you, and start to rock side to side, giving yourself a little massage in the front of those shoulders, across the chest. And gentle engagement of those shoulder blades together. And breathing here. And breathing out. Good. And really slowly you'll walk those hands in towards your body to allow yourself to fall onto your forearms and bringing your back body and head to the ground. And making sure that block is near you on the way down if you're taking that supported shoulder stand. So releasing the back body and the head down, those knees stay bent as they are, hip distance apart. Those hands and arms ground by our sides, slight tuck at the navel, root down through your feet, and on that breath in, engage your glutes to lift your hips to the sky for a gentle bridge pose. On that breath out, we slowly lower one vertebrae at a time. Hips meet the ground last. We'll take one more round here. Deep breath in, squeeze the glutes, lift the hips to the sky. Good, and on that breath out, you slowly release back down. And we'll come into sleeping pigeon or figure four. We'll cross that right ankle over our left thigh, flexing through those right toes. Option to stay here. You might take that block and step that left foot on the block for extra height to deepen. Or if you'd like to take this one step further, you can take this into thread the needle, where your hands will interlace behind your left thigh or in front of that left shin. Whatever shape you find yourself in, just landing heavy. You might gently rock side to side. You might use that right hand or elbow to direct that right knee outwards. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Good. Find 3 more slow rounds of breath. 3. 2. 1. We'll uncross the leg, release the block to the side. And then we'll cross that right leg completely over the left this time. Lift the hips, shimmy them to the right. And then allow those knees to drop to the left, taking a cross-legged supine twist. And those arms can come out into a T or bent at 90. And that gaze may fall to the right. And take a deep breath in. And a long breath out. Perhaps that left hand plants on the outside of that right thigh to breathe into this twist a little deeper. And falling really heavy here, encouraging that right shoulder blade towards the ground as that right knee falls heavier towards the ground. Letting that breath travel along the body and finding 3 slow rounds of breath. 1. 2. 3. Really slowly engaging through the side body to lift those knees back through center. We'll uncross the legs, and then we'll take sleeping pigeon or figure 4 to the left side, crossing that left ankle over our right thigh, flexing through the toes. And an option to stay here, you might step onto that block with that right foot. If you like to take this one step deeper, you can find that interlace of the hands behind the thigh or in front of the shin. In either shape you find yourself, allowing the back body and head to release down. You might rock side to side. You might use that left hand or elbow to direct that leg outwards a little deeper. And breathing here in whatever shape. And honoring if this side is showing up a little differently. And using that breath to guide your movement. And using that breath to hold your concentration. Take a deep breath in. And a long breath out. Deep breath in. Long breath out. One more deep breath in. Long breath out. Good. Releasing that shape, releasing that block from beneath you if you've had it. And then we'll cross that left leg completely over the right like we're sitting at a table. Lift the hips, shimmy them to the left, find your arm shape, and allow those legs to drop to the right. And the gaze may fall to the left. And taking this supine twist, encouraging that left shoulder blade towards the ground as you're directing that knee closer towards the ground. That right hand may plant on the outside of that left thigh to encourage the stretch a little deeper. And breathing into the shape, breathing into the body. And using that breath to release tension on the way out. taking notice of where you can soften, where you can fall a little deeper. And finding 3 more slow, deep breaths. 1. 2. 3. Really nice and slowly. Starting to draw those legs back through center. We'll uncross the legs and find that starting bridge pose where those knees are bent, soles of the feet are hip distance apart, and arms are resting by our side. So this is how we're setting up for our supported shoulder stand. If you are taking legs up the wall instead, making your way to the wall and bringing your sit bones close enough to the wall and then guiding your legs up when you're ready. And arms can rest by your side. If you're taking supported shoulder stand, we'll root down through our feet, engage the glutes, lift the hips to the sky. And we'll take that block on the first or second setting. And we'll bring it to our lower back for our tailbone, our hips to release down for support. And then once you find your placement of your hips, of your lower back, the height that feels good for you, one leg at a time, you can start to reach it towards the sky, allowing those legs to dangle above you. Arms can stay resting by your side for support. And allowing your hips to fall really heavy here in the support of the block. And if your legs are up the wall, allowing your hips to fall heavy with the weight of the legs above you. And the support of that wall holding your legs in place. And in either shape, you can keep those arms resting by your side, or perhaps you take up more space, reaching them to the sides or overhead. And allow the blood to flow in the opposite direction that it normally does. And it's such a beautiful shape to take before bed, midway through the day. It really starts to calm our body automatically, activating our parasympathetic nervous system when our feet are above our heart. And with this slight tuck of your chin towards your chest, the breath also starts to activate our rest and digest side of our nervous system. So an overall calming shape for the body. Really beautiful for circulation. And being mindful of how your body is feeling in this shape. If any numbness starts to come or tingling, and it's offering more pain rather than discomfort, just slowly easing yourself out of the pose. Allowing that breath to help you land wherever you are. And we'll find 5 slow rounds of breath. And last round here. Now, if you're comfortable, always the option to finish practice here and staying in this shape for a little bit longer. If you'd like to finish practice seated, legs up the wall, allow those legs to fall to one side and find a fetal position. If you're in supported shoulder stand, really slowly start to direct those feet back to the ground, finding that supportive bridge shape. And those hands will come by your side for support. Root down through your feet. Lift the hips high enough to release that block from beneath you. Allow the hips to release back down and then roll onto your favorite side to find a fetal shape. Using that bottom arm as a pillow, your opposite arm as a kickstand. And falling heavy on your side body here, resting for a moment. Whatever shape you find yourself in, taking a moment to notice how the body is feeling compared to the start of your practice. Might you notice the shift in your energy? And trusting that if nothing's at the forefront for you, that your body took in what it needed today. Allow the effects of this practice to continue to radiate throughout your body as you leave your mats here today. Really nice and gently and slowly, at your own time, start to lift yourself up to a seat if you're finishing class there today. And once you arrive, you can ground down through your sit bones, cross those legs out in front of you. Allow the eyes to soften or close down. And we'll bring that left hand over our heart, the right hand over top. Lift the crown of your head to the sky and relax those shoulder blades down your back. And feel the warmth of your hands radiating inwards towards your heart center. Sending in love and gratitude for making the time to show up on your mats today. To move, to breathe, to find stillness, and to connect in community. And hands come to prayer at heart center, gentle tuck of the chin. Allow that breath to move freely. And we'll find gratitude for all the past teachings and practices that have come before us and passed down this wisdom. And finding gratitude for this ability to connect here together. Thank you so much for letting me guide you through your practice today. May the love enlighten me shine through to the love enlighten you. I bow to you. Namaste. So thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that slow restorative sequence. And you take the rest of your day or into the rest of your evening gentle and easy as you welcome life back in. Take this feeling with you as you leave your mats today, and know that your breath and your mats and this space that we create together is always here for you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to connecting with you next time. If you haven't done so already, please do like and subscribe to my channel. The more connections I make, the greater reach I can make into our community. So please do share with someone who needs a little reset today. I look forward to connecting with you next time, and namaste.